There comes a moment in every man's life when the mirror feels heavier than the world, when the silence is louder than any argument, when you look back and whisper, "If only I had known sooner." But by then, she's gone. Your time's wasted, and the man you used to be is a stranger. These 9 lessons aren't feel-good quotes. They're the truths men usually learn after they've already lost everything that mattered. Don't wait for the pain. Learn now, while you still have the time. 1. You become what you tolerate. Every time you bite your tongue to keep the peace, you trade a piece of yourself for silence. Every time you let a comment slide, let disrespect pass, let a boundary get crossed, you're not being peaceful. You're being programmed. And the worst part? You don't even notice it happening. It starts small. A joke that goes too far. A partner who pushes your limits. A boss who takes advantage of your silence. And each time you say nothing, each time you convince yourself it's not worth the fight, you're giving away authority over your own life. What begins as patience becomes passivity. What looks like self-control becomes self-betrayal. The Stoics didn't preach apathy. They preached apatheia, mastery over emotion, not the surrender of standards. Marcus Aurelius didn't rule an empire by saying, "Whatever happens, happens." He ruled by holding the line where it mattered. That line, that boundary, defines you. A man who tolerates disrespect, chaos, mediocrity, ends up becoming a mirror of those things. But the man who says, "This is who I am, and this is what I allow," becomes immovable. And that man commands respect without ever raising his voice. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you allow. And over time, what you allow becomes who you are. So ask yourself, what version of you are you building? Silently. 2. Comfort is the most dangerous drug. It doesn't scream, it whispers. Comfort doesn't break down the door. It slowly closes it, while you sit on the couch thinking there's still time. It's not the fire that burns you alive. It's the warm bath that puts you to sleep. You wake up every morning and tell yourself, "Tomorrow, I'll try harder." But comfort tells you, you're fine as you are. And after enough mornings, you start to believe it. You begin to settle. For less discipline, for shallow relationships, for cheap dopamine. And soon, you're living a life that doesn't hurt, but also doesn't mean anything. Seneca didn't warn against chaos. He warned against luxury. He said, "A soft life makes a soft man." And softness in the modern world is silent suicide. It's skipping the gym and calling it rest. It's letting ambition rot behind excuses. It's numbing your anxiety with endless scrolling, alcohol, or fake connection. You think you're taking it easy, but you're actually slipping into decay. Comfort doesn't just kill potential. It makes you complicit in your own downfall. And the worst part, it feels good while it's happening. That's why most men don't realize they're lost until everything's gone. Their body, their drive, their edge. And by then, they're too ashamed to fight back. The Stoics knew growth lives in resistance. The man who chooses discomfort, who puts himself in the fire daily, becomes unshakable. So if your life feels easy, that's not peace. It's a warning. Comfort is not the reward. It's the test. 3. Attention is a trap. Peace is the prize. When you're young, attention feels like purpose. The likes, the compliments, the flirty texts. You chase the spotlight, thinking it'll fix the darkness inside you. But the truth? Attention is cheap. Peace is sacred. She might flirt with you to boost her ego. Your friends might laugh at your jokes while secretly doubting you. Your job might recognize your effort, but still treat you like you're replaceable. And all the while, you confuse their eyes on you with respect for you. Big mistake. Attention is noise. Peace is clarity. The man who chases validation becomes a puppet, constantly moving based on other people's reactions. But the man who protects his peace, he becomes powerful in silence. Because peace is where your mind stops spinning, where your values take root, where your future gets built, away from the crowd. The Stoics taught this with their lives. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, but wrote his meditations in private, not for applause, but for truth. He knew what's seen fades, what's real stays. So if you're constantly chasing acknowledgement, ask yourself, would you still pursue this life, even if no one noticed? Because peace doesn't come when they approve. It comes when you no longer need them to. 4. Boundaries aren't cruel. They're required. You were raised to believe that being a good man meant being available, always saying yes, always picking up the phone, always keeping the peace. But somewhere along the way, that peace became performance. You weren't being kind. You were being trained to disappear. Every time you said it's fine when it wasn't. Every time you stayed in the conversation when your soul was begging to leave. Every time you kept someone in your life just because of shared history, not shared values. You didn't just let them in. You let yourself go. Stoicism doesn't preach cruelty. It preaches clarity. It's not about pushing people away. It's about recognizing who deserves your closeness. Epictetus taught, keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern. If they bring drama, manipulation, guilt, that's not your concern. Their chaos is their burden. Your job is to guard the gate, because what you tolerate becomes your environment. And if you keep opening the door for takers, manipulators, and emotional leeches, don't be surprised when your peace disappears. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They don't make you lonely, they make you clean. You're not being cold by saying no. You're being clear. And the man who is clear about what he allows is the man who finally respects his own time, energy, and mind. So let them call you distant. Let them call you selfish. You don't owe unlimited access to anyone, especially not those who confuse your kindness for weakness. You're not a rescue boat. You're a lighthouse. You guide. You stand firm. You don't chase. You glow from within. 5. Holding back your truth will always backfire. There comes a moment in every man's life when his silence becomes a prison. You hold it in. You smile when you should speak. You stay quiet to keep the peace. But silence isn't always strength. Sometimes it's surrender. You didn't tell her how much it hurt when she flirted with another man. You didn't tell your friend his joke cut deeper than he knew. You didn't tell yourself the truth, that you've been coasting, not growing. And over time, those unspoken truths build walls inside you. until the only thing louder than your thoughts is the resentment they create. Most men think speaking up will ruin the connection. But the truth is, suppressing your truth ruins you. Stoicism isn't about swallowing emotion. It's about mastering it. It's about knowing when to be still and when to speak with fire and clarity. Your voice isn't a weapon. It's a compass. It tells the world and yourself where you stand and what you refuse to tolerate. And here's the paradox. The people who truly deserve your truth will respect it. The ones who don't, they were never safe to begin with. So speak, not to provoke, not to dominate, but to stay aligned with who you are. Because every time you stay silent to protect someone else's comfort, you sacrifice your own soul. 6. No one is coming to save you. At some point, every man looks around and realizes no one is coming. Not your parents, not your girlfriend, not your best friend, not your therapist, your mentor, or your idol. You can wait your whole life for someone to fix the chaos inside you. But the only person who can do that work is you. This realization is painful. It's raw. It shatters the illusion that life should feel easier, that help is always around the corner. But once you accept it, something shifts. You stop begging. You stop blaming. You stop waiting for the world to change. And you start changing yourself. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. No one will walk your path for you. No one else can build your habits, heal your trauma, develop your discipline. They can guide, they can inspire, but they can't carry you." This is the moment where boys become men, when you drop the fantasy of rescue and pick up the responsibility of rebirth. So stop outsourcing your pain. Stop waiting for her love to heal your wounds. Stop expecting your boss to see your worth. You don't need saving. You need strength. And strength is earned in silence, repetition, and ruthless accountability. The man who saves himself, he's not bitter. He's not loud. He's dangerous because he's already faced the storm and kept moving. 7. The woman you want is a mirror, not a savior. You think winning her will finally quiet the doubts. You think if she just loved you, really saw you, you'd feel enough. But here's the truth. She can't fix what you refuse to face. The woman you're chasing, she reflects your state, not your worth. If you're broken, you'll attract chaos. If you're needy, you'll attract distance. And if you're whole, you'll stop chasing altogether. Most men make her the destination. They think her approval validates their manhood. They adjust their character to her preferences. But what kind of man changes his mission to win someone else's attention? Seneca wrote, "A man who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." And you're suffering unnecessarily because you've placed your self-worth in someone else's hands. She's not your savior. She's your reflection. If she leaves easily, maybe it's because you're clinging too hard. If she disrespects you, maybe it's because you haven't drawn the line. If she plays games, maybe it's because you haven't learned stillness. The woman you dream of will never complete you. She will only magnify who you already are. So become a man who doesn't need to be chosen, because he's already chosen himself. And when you finally stop seeking to be enough in her eyes, you'll become the kind of man who asks, Is she even worthy of walking beside me? 8. Your emotions are signals, not commands. Anger isn't always wrong. Sadness doesn't make you weak. Fear isn't your enemy. But when you let these emotions drive the car, they crash it every time. Most men were never taught how to feel, only how to suppress. So they either explode or implode. They lash out when disrespected. They shut down when overwhelmed. They ghost when afraid. But Stoicism teaches something deeper. It doesn't say, don't feel. It says, feel deeply, then act wisely. Marcus Aurelius felt grief, loss, pressure, and still ruled an empire with discipline because he didn't react from impulse. He responded from principle. When your girlfriend pulls away and the panic hits, when your friend betrays you and rage rises in your chest, when your plan fails and shame whispers, you're not good enough, that's the moment to breathe, to sit with it, to let the fire pass, and choose your move from power, not pain. You are not your emotions. You are the one who observes them and chooses the response, and the man who can feel without falling, who can rage without reacting, who can ache without abandoning himself. That man, he becomes untouchable. 9. Time is not a guarantee. It's a gamble. You don't own time. You rent it. And the price, your attention, your energy, your life. But most men act like time is a bank account with infinite zeros. They spend their days like they'll always get a refill. They scroll past their purpose. They sleep through their potential. They say, I'll do it later, like later is a promise, not a maybe. Memento mori. Remember you must die. Not to scare you, but to wake you up. That conversation you keep delaying. It might never happen. That risk you keep avoiding. It might have been your only chance. That version of you you're trying to become. He's running out of time. The Stoics weren't obsessed with death. They were obsessed with living before it. Because once you truly understand that your clock is ticking, you stop wasting seconds on things and people that don't build you. You stop saying one day, and you start saying today. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you create it. You stop asking for time, and start honoring what's left of it. So here's the final truth. Every morning you wake up is a gift you didn't earn. It's a borrowed miracle. Don't waste it building a life you secretly want to escape. Because one day, and no one knows when, you won't get to try again. And the man you could have been will die unrealized. If even one of these lessons hit you like a punch to the gut, good. It means you're still alive, still capable, still in control of what happens next. But here's the thing. Watching this video changes nothing. Doing does. So don't scroll to the next hit of dopamine. Don't nod and forget. Do something. Speak the truth. Set the boundary. Get uncomfortable. Move toward the man you were meant to be. Not tomorrow now. Because if these are lessons most men learn too late, then you've just been given the unfair advantage. The question is, will you use it? If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to our channel for more Stoic wisdom. See you in the next video.